Hey Crusaders, Daryl here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about hurricane prep and preparedness. So right here in front of me is a couple backup power systems I have. This right here is an Anchor Solix C800 Plus. I've done reviews on this. It has the 12 volt plug and it has multiple 110 plugs across the front. Cool thing about this is it has two lights where it could be flashlight or room lights. Along with that, it has the extendable pole, which can screw in over here so you can have elevated lighting, which is nice also. This is awesome to have. I have a 30 watt solar collapsible panel from Anchor also, and that came with my Powerhouse 90, which is right here. I will be charging this because currently it shows about 50%. If you notice, I have the 110 plug plugged in. Here's the USBs and the power inlets and outlets, so I'll be charging that via that in just a little bit. What I did with the Powerhouse 90 is I connected it to one of these inexpensive Harbor Freight ammo boxes, and inside I have a multi-port USB plug, so I can charge pretty much anything USB, camera batteries, cell phones, flashlights, what have you, and that can be a grab and go. So that is all that was sent to me from Anchor, and so I may be deploying these if I need to. Something else, I am on city water, so I'm not normally worried about water going out. If water goes out though, I do have several water containers that I'll be filling, whether it's a 5-gallon water jug to the 3-gallon water jugs I have. I also have an Igloo sports cooler, a drink cooler if I need to fill that up. Also in the back, I have a small above ground pool. It's about 5,000 gallons. It's chlorinated. So what I can do is I can use that pool water in a bucket and flush the toilets if I need to. I can also, if I need drinking water, if I run out of potable water, I have a ceramic filtration system with 2 5-gallon buckets. So that water will be filtered through the ceramic filtration. So that's something to think about. Also, I forgot to mention, I do have a Dometic, one of the water systems where it has the USB rechargeable faucet. I think it's about 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons of water, and the hose with the rechargeable faucet. I have that, and also my Cobalt 24 volt electric sprayer, which I've never used any chemicals in it. I just use water, and I fashioned that to be my shower system. So I do have that water storage, and I do have that. Worst case scenario, I have plenty of coolers. I can fill the coolers up with water also. On that line with coolers, I have my Eco Outfitter coolers, which if I put ice in them, they usually hold ice for me between 3 to 5 days, so I'm not worried about that if my freezer should happen to fail. But I don't think they will fail because I have triple power sources. So let's go out and I'll show you and talk to you about the power sources, and also I will then talk to you about the self-sufficiency of my truck with its solar, its batteries, and its refrigerators. And I'll also touch on different types of food and different types of cooking. If I was to have to leave my house, which my house has natural gas coming to it, that means I have a gas water heater, so I have hot showers. I'm able to cook on my stove because I have a gas stove. And if it was the winter time, I am able to have heat because of a gas furnace. So those are all pluses. Now let me go outside and we'll show you a little bit about what I have going on outside. All right, Crusaders, so this is the small pool I was talking about. This holds about 5,000 gallons of water. So yeah, it has leaves in it, but it is chlorinated. Matter of fact, I see some of the chlorine tablets getting low, so I'm going to add some more. It is running off power. It only runs 6 hours a day. So this is Florida before a storm. Yeah, the sun's out, still a little cloudy. The clouds are just now starting to roll in. It was pretty much sunny all day long. So my biggest concern for me is that big oak tree right there. But thankfully, I don't think it's tall enough to touch my house. But my parts vehicles may get hit. My shed could get hit. I moved my trailers from back there over to here, so they could get hit possibly. But hopefully, this right here, if you notice, this pole, that is the pole coming from the power company, Duke Energy. Here's where the power comes to the house. You follow it, and it goes right there. So if you notice, if the power should fail, I also have a solar system. So these are all my solar batteries here, and usually they're good for, depending on how we run the air conditioning, in the summertime they're good for about 8.5 hours. Wintertime, they're good for probably 14-15 hours. So this is the brains of the operation, and then a power meters. If you notice, I have the Generac. They're still supposed to put that in line, but I'll talk about the Generac in a minute. But if you notice, I have solar panels on the house. So as long as I have sun, I have power to the house, and the batteries are charging. Currently, the batteries are being charged right now because we're on storm alert and the grid is feeding them. All right, so I just said that currently my batteries, they're full. They're at 100% capacity. With this right over my shoulder, that is the brains of the solar operation with the battery system. Some people have solar where all they do is get power during the day, and whatever the power is not being used, it goes back to the power company. I do have that option also. Normally, those sunny days, I'm able to give power back and get a credit for that power. The wintertime is where I really bank it, okay? So that right now, since there is a hurricane coming, the weather service, the computer says, hey, let's charge the battery. So that's what they're doing right now. So until power goes out, my batteries will be 100%. Hurricane Helene, power went out about 10:30 at night, and the batteries kicked right on. I had power all night, I had air conditioning all night. The next morning, the sun came up, the batteries started charging, the house was working and running, even with the air conditioning on, and about 9:30 in the morning, power was restored. So then it went right back to charging the batteries. So that's what I have right now. So the power lines, that's the first bit of power I have. The solar and the solar batteries is the second bit of power I have. Now let's look at the third bit of power I have for storms and preparedness. Okay, y'all. So this is my third level of preparedness for electricity. This is my Generac Guardian series. It's a 22 kW. This will power my whole house with the caveat once it's completely installed into my house. Okay, so if you notice the yellow cable right here, that is going, it's a large extension cord, which is going to run into my house to power the basic appliances. All right, so I have that extension cord, which is going to be able to run my basic appliances. So when I say basic appliances, what I have is in my garage, I have a refrigerator and a freezer full of meat, okay? The refrigerator more has drinks and whatever other food we have. Plus it has the freezer on top, which is, you know, for other incidentals. That power cable is strong enough to then plug in my refrigerator and my freezer in the garage, and then branch off into the house. I have another thick cable, and I can run the refrigerator in my house. And we also have a portable stand-up air conditioning unit, which I can vent, drain whatever condensation into a bucket, and then vent out the window. So it makes for a good unit. Plus, it would also allow us enough power to run fans and also the Wi-Fi, because nowadays we can't survive without the Wi-Fi, and also TV and whatever else. So just the basics. But once the Guardian is hooked up completely, it will run the whole house. It will run air conditioning, all my appliances, whatever the kids have on. If the kids want to leave the lights on, which I tell them not to, it'll run that. So those are the level of preparedness that I have. All right, I have electricity, I have water, I have food stores. Not only do I have perishable items in the refrigerators, but also have non-perishable items in the pantry, and I also have stores of freeze-dried foods, especially Mamu's freeze-dried foods. Good Lord, folks, if you have not tried Mamu's foods yet, it's mamuskitchen.com. If you have not tried them yet, you got to try them. You're not eating freeze-dried meals. It tastes like you're eating a regular gourmet meal. So try them. So I have perishable items, non-perishable items. I have freeze-dried items. I have for cooking. I have my gas stove in the house. I have my barbecue grill on the outside. I have my smoker on the outside. I have the Coleman camp stove if I need that with propane. I have my Hot Devil camp stove. So that is the single burner, similar to a jet boil. I have that. So I have my Stanley coffee press. If I needed to do that, I can heat things up on that. So I can cook. We're not going to go hungry. We're not going to get hot. We're not going to dehydrate. We're not going to lose power. We'll have power one way or another. What I'm trying to say is my house, I believe, unless the wicked witch of the west comes and picks it up in a tornado, we should be fine. We have been fine so far. I believe the good Lord's on my side, and he'll look after us, and so I believe we will be fine. So let me now go over to my truck, and we'll talk a little bit about the truck and that being prepared. All right, y'all, so this is my truck, Ellie. It is a 2003 Mitsubishi Montero Limited. All right, so you've seen them in all the different videos. The self-sufficiency of this. If you notice, if we need to shower outside, I have my kick-ass shower awning, privacy awning, changing room. That's if we need to go somewhere, so I have that. If you notice up through there, let me see if I can zoom in. That right there is the base of my Renogy. I believe it's a 50-watt solar panel. See on top here, let me get a better view. There's my solar panel on top. And that right there, if you notice, it's going through the roof, through the solar pass-through. And I have my refrigerator. This is just an inexpensive Uhomi, which is like an Apricool. I've had this about 3 years. I think this is a 56 quart. I think currently they're running like $200 something. I have not been disappointed with this refrigerator one bit. It may not run as efficiently as maybe the Iceco or a Dometic or something like that, but it was bang for the buck, and for the past 3 years, it has not given me any issue. It's not currently plugged in, okay? So what I have, if I move stuff, I'm still sort of unpacking from the trip I took to do hurricane relief. So let me get this unhooked, and I'll show you my battery system and what we're doing with that. All right, y'all, so this is my battery system, also my charging system. I have the Red Arc DC charger. This is my Vitraire 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium ion battery or lithium phosphate battery. I did the review on this just the other week. One of the most recent things I did to it was I added, it's just sort of in here sloppily, I added this inverter. It's only a 1,000 watt inverter. I had this for my pop-up camper, which I didn't necessarily need right now. So I put this in. I actually used that inverter last Saturday to use a Dremel tool that I plugged in, and I sharpened the blades on my little electric chainsaw here. So that was a nice little system. Now I also have backup power cables that I use for my kick-ass Joffle maker. That way I can press sandwiches. So the solar comes in. If you notice, I did a video on this. It comes running in through here. It comes in for the DC charger. Also have the coming in for my battery from the front. So when it's driving, it's charging. I do have it set for lithium. So it's charging. This has an app that tells me what's going on with it. And it also charges this. Now, what I do have also coming off of this system is I have a dual USB port right here. And let me move some of this so you can see some of the awesome people that I support, and they support me. If you notice, Luso, Seasucker, Five Angel Outdoors, Coder Mac Man, miss you out here, Big Five Overland, awesome antennas. John Berkmeyer, he's the fisher of men. He's a great Christian, great man. I've gotten a lot of people together. Semper Gumby Ben, can't wait to see you again. Here's Steve. I just talked to Steve today. He says he's ready for the storm. The Moose Knuckles here. Let me tell you something. I am going to take that Moose Knuckle right there, and I am going to put it on that patrol car right there, once again, with my recovery gear, just in case I need something to happen. All right? So those are some of the folks that I support, and they support me. That system right there also plugs in my refrigerator in the back. And then I also have it run over here where I have a more USBs. See? 2 USBs. So I have 4 USBs in the back. And then I have a 12 volt right there for a 12 volt plug. All right, so that's what I have for this. Now, if I have to, I can put my portable shower system in this truck, and because I have the awning. If I need to go somewhere and I need some shade, I have my Rough Country 270 awning, which the price was right. I have to do this stuff on a budget, but this was like $300 and it has not failed me yet. So that's some of the stuff I have with the truck. All right, everyone. I know this was quick, and I know I talked a little quicker than I normally do. But with preparedness, it doesn't matter if it's just the power goes out or we have a catastrophic storm or what have you, okay? It's always good to be prepared. Think about the poor victims from Helene, all the way from, like, we were in Steinhatchee just last weekend. Think about those poor victims. Florida, we sort of are used to catastrophic events happening. But the folks in Georgia, North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, I've said it before, they weren't prepared for the devastation that Mother Nature unleashed on them, all right? So some of these folks, if they were more prepared, maybe they had backup generators, or maybe they had solar, or maybe they had means for a well. We don't have a well. I know people that have not only a regular electric well pump, but they also have a hand pump. So those are things to think about. There is food, how should I say? There is food that will save for years. Just because it says best by date, canned food can last for years. Those Mylar bags, whether it's instant rice or it's freeze dried, or think about you need coffee. I have coffee saved for my wife just for the fact of I don't want her having to go without coffee. So I drink it too, but I can survive without it. So things to think about. While the power is on, make sure all your clothes are clean, because you don't want to have to be without power. One year, the storm, I think it was '04, people were without power for 2 weeks. Do you have 2 weeks worth of underwear? Or do you have the means to hand wash your underwear and put them on a line or a drying rack? These are things to think about. So what I guess my main point to all this is be prepared. I talked to some folks today at work. They don't have any means of backup power. They don't have extra foods. They don't have extra water supplies. That's scary, folks. When catastrophic situations happen, people are desperate. Looting happens. Make sure you know the laws on self-defense. Don't be afraid to defend your property. Now, on that also, if you have things that other people may need and you're able to spare a little here and there, be a good person. Look out for your neighbors. Think about how you normally interact with your neighbors. My neighbors are awesome. I've known my neighbors over 20 years. I went to school with one of my neighbors. My wife worked with one of our neighbors 25 years ago. We're all friends. We look out for each other. So that's something I want you guys to think about. Look out for your fellow human beings. Look out for your animals. Make sure you have enough dog food, cat food. If they're inside the house, cat litter, medications. I didn't touch on medications. Make sure you have enough medications to get you through a catastrophic event. Here in Florida, we are extremely lucky and extremely blessed because we have a governor who is willing to take charge and has taken charge to make sure that the citizens are prepared as much as possible and gets the resources that we need. How should I rephrase this? You can't rely on the federal government. Cannot rely on the federal government. You have to rely on yourself and your neighbors. You have to be self-sufficient. Eventually, the federal government may come through. When I was at Hurricane Helene, I didn't see anything FEMA related. I didn't hear from any of the people that they have seen anything FEMA related, but Samaritan's Purse was there. So private industries came through. Federal government was not there. So what I want you guys to do is, 1, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of each other. Take care of your neighbors when possible. And I want you to just be safe. All right? If you have the time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to this video, especially if you liked it. And God bless, and I hope to see you on your own adventure, and I hope to see you after Hurricane Milton tries to take us all away. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great day. Be kind.